This is Macquarie Island, lonely polar outpost 900 miles to the south of Tasmania. It is swept by great seas which roll unchecked round the globe. Floating masses of giant seaweed are threshed into the jaws of the combers and pounded on the rocks. Its sinister jungle is the home of many creatures sought by restless seabirds. Angry seas thrust it on drab beaches where it begins and flies. It is dried, dispersed by the winds, and cast upon the slopes of flowing grasses. It enriches the mean soils of the stilbacapa and the unusual chlorophyllum. It's bound in the nests of these blue-eyed cormorants, which win their living from the rough seas. For these pipe-neck ones, the phantom summer is their time of love-making. Their devotion to each other, through mating and parenthood and through life, is one of the rare triumphs of nature. They share with man a world of tragedy, of fugitive joys, a world in which the once vast boundaries of nature draw closer each year. For these fisher birds of the lonely isle, the appearance of man is a virgin experience met with by a wonder and a courage that surpasses fear. The Macquarie Island tern is another harvester of the sea, and fishes and fights within sight of the tireless surf. It makes its nest among moist plants on offshore rocks and lays this blotched and marbled egg. The nestling's chief protection from the savage beak is its quietness and downy harmony with gray and yellow lichens. On the mountain heights seared by the winds and carpeted with bright heads of foreign burrs, this sea vulture or giant petrel builds its nest. Man has little love for this uncouth bird that drags night birds from their burrows to batter them to death. Its breeding season is a constant vigil through bitter gales, bearing frost, snow, and hail. The petrel's crony in piracy and slaughter is this dark skewer, which establishes its nest, lays its eggs, and rears its young neath the edges of stinking bogs and penguin rookeries. The white knobs on the nestling's beaks are egg teeth, with which they chip their way out of the shell to freedom. No bird or small creature is safe from the ruthless skewer, which plunders and eats the eggs and young of others. Oceanic birds which live a life of wandering over the wastes must come to land to breed. This beautiful black-browed albatross is one of the many that now make an annual flight to the island. The perfection of this bird's flight is the outcome of a long association with winds as severe as nature can impose. It has turned the brutal power of the storm to its own account. To the albatross, the force of the hurricane is meaningless. Every season, tens of thousands of elephant seals voyage to and land upon coasts wrecked with thundering graybeards and brawling storms. Each herd is commanded by a mountainous bull, whose nose is one of nature's longer jokes. As the brief spring nears its end, the mothers give birth to their black-furred pups. The struggle for life is harsh. We're afforded a glimpse of the life of a baby seal as it really is, raw, ruthless, and fraught with danger. Some cows desert their young before they're weaned. The fondlings starve on the outskirts of the herd and become the prey of the somber-eyed scavengers. Many thousands of quaint rockhopper penguins make their rookeries in the grasses or on rocky slopes by the sea. They brood with a grave and placid air. Few can resist penguins with their supposed likeness to man or their attractive woolly nestlings. The Gen 2, or Johnny penguin, is a year-round resident at the Isle and is by far the most popular of all the stiff-shirted dignitaries. All penguins are near-sighted on land, which is the reason for their close inspection of things. Baby Gen 2s are the most sought prey of the wily skuas. From their first few minutes to downy chicks, they have to be defended from the attacks of preying birds. Every year in October, millions of royal penguins, obeying ancestral impulses, return from the seas to their rookeries on the beaches and in the hills. There is no buoyant bound in the penguin's earthly pilgrimage. It is labored, flat-footed, and stiff-kneed. But in the sea, Penguins are the most completely marine of all birds, and rival seals and porpoises in their turn of speed. If their life on land is without glee, their life in the water is zestful and carefree, for wildlife is essentially young life.